Duopo. He's the Deputy Minister for Instruction at the Ministry of Education. Let me welcome you, sir. Good morning and welcome to Economic Hour.
Thank you. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm okay.
That's good.
I'm okay.
I can see from your suit. You have a very beautiful suit.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, while we await the arrival of Honorable Latin Daton, we will start a discussion with you, sir. How is the Ministry of Education?
Well, we are doing well. We are there under the supervision of Dr. D. and Susoni. We are a team, and we started as a team, and we continue. And today we will end as a team because the president of this country, Dr. George Manawia, he has given us the privilege to serve our country and our people and to work in this government. And we are very, very grateful, for the gains that we have made over the years.
You from the instructional side of the Ministry of Education, you are responsible for all instructional activities across Liberia. Give us the backdrop since you took over, Honorable Duopo, up to present. How has it been in terms of quality instructional practices by the Liberian instructors?
Well, education is a large sector, and we've inherited a lot. I think before we took over, our predecessors categorized, they labeled the system as a mess, and I think they had a reason, why they, put the system in that category. 2014, when we got there, 2014, they said that the teachers, were tested, through the World Bank project, and many of our teachers, they didn't meet the mark, and they performed poorly. Those who were in the classroom teaching our kids, and because of that, they were classified as functionally illiterate people, or educated people, or functionally illiterate. So they were not to be in the classroom. So when we took over, a lot that we inherited. So I'll give a background.
Yes.
Then where we are and where we are going. So then when we got in, we saw these people, but then the World Bank came back to us and said, many of these people that are on payroll need to be off payroll because they are functionally illiterate. The test we gave, the exam, they didn't do well. But then we decided to tour the country to see what really going on, because there are a lot of factors and determinants. But you may know the problem, but you have to find solution to those problems. Then we realized that, the category, the standards, we saw C certificates, teaching junior high or high school, students, someone who has C certificate. Then we also saw those who just graduated from high school teaching high schools. Those are some of the things that we inherited. Then we also saw some of our teachers that were qualified. They took advantage of in-service, so they left the classroom and they left the classroom void. And no one could replace them. And then some of the monitoring and supervision. Can you imagine one DO have almost 130 schools to supervise? How many schools can that DO go to in a semester or in a year time? So then the physical environment, schools dilapidated,
no chairs.
Then we had a situation also with female dropout, female enrollment. How can we retain them? How can they complete high school? All these different situation that we had. Then also the National Teacher Association, before we got there, our predecessor had a situation with the NTL, the union, the National Teacher Association. In fact, the president, all workers, her staff.
Yeah, quota officers.
Yeah, the quota officers. What happened? They were dismissed. Many of them were suspended, by the previous government. So those are things that we, then we had centers created, the Center of Excellence, for teachers licensing accreditation, Center for Textbook Management Curriculum. There were three centers that were created, but only one was functioning. but the one that will have held the teachers in check,
Yeah.
that will have made a teacher to have integrity and character, was not functioning. The Center of Excellence for Teacher Licensing and school, and, and school accreditation because you can't just jump up and say you have a school.
You have a
The
school.
school
You need to
has
you
a
need to
model.
pass through the procedures.
Yeah, and the school have a model. You can't just have a zing house, So it's a structure. Like if you see public schools, you know that public schools have models, the way in which they should be built. So now we saw our case to transitioning from taking the liberal senior high school exam to the West African senior school certificate exam, the WAS. Because they piloted, they are rolling out now. Liberal was to make a decision whether we should take the exam along with our sisters country, English speaking countries, or we should stand alone. So those were decisions that we had to make. And I just want the Liberian
Was
people to
that
know
a difficult decision to take?
Well, the past, I'm not criticizing, but I think the past leadership started the piloting and to roll out. They should have agreed at the time, but they did not. But when we came in, after having series of discussion with the WAEC authority, international group, we saw reason, that our kids are smart kids. We just need to motivate our kids, encourage them, and provide them with the necessary, support, the necessary tools, so that they can take the challenge. And also, we have, the types of schools, where there is teaching, there must be learning. So long there is no learning, there's no teaching. And our performances at the ministry level or at the sector level depends on what our kids produce. The outcome
That's the
comes,
outcome, yeah.
So
That justifies
yes,
the means.
yes. So people need to know, like for instance, the type of schools. We have the public schools run by the government, the private school, run by individual, faith-based school run by religious organizations, and the Muslim, the Christians. Don't have community schools, and many times the community will come together and say, look, our kids, there's no school here, let us form ourselves, give our land or give this home, so that our kids can come to school. All we need to do is ask the government, for teachers. Now, when government provide the teachers, the school become functional. But then when the community sees that the students are getting so many and they think that they themselves can take over the school, then it's a problem again.
Yeah.
Then we come again on encroachment of government properties. Families, a lot of good families gave their property to government to build schools. But today, most of the properties that government schools are,
People are reclaiming them.
Oh my God. Because government, in the time past, government didn't ask for these.
They felt that it was a
goodwill, so they didn't ask for these and other things.
Was that an error on the part of the government?
That was an error. And they did not do that. And going forward, anyone that gave us, government property to build a school, we have to go through the survey, the probate, and what have you to possess the deed.
Sure.
Because if you go to ETMR now, you see houses, you can walk through someone's house and enter the class at school, which is, of course, not good. But then this government decided now to fence all our facilities, all government facilities, so that, some of them encroach, but the ones we have control over.
Yeah.
We fence, we try to fence it. So coming to, instructional, because we have administration.
That's your specialty.
Research.
That's your area of work.
My colleagues, they support me. If the administration does not do good hiring, I won't have good teachers.
No.
When the planning does not meet our donors and have good negotiation, the programs and projects that are run, it won't be effective. So there where we were, teachers going for in-service. Volunteer teachers are created, and some schools, our teachers have that 25 hours a week. They only have sometimes just go 8 hours a week or 4 hours a week and walk away, So those are things that we saw and decided to work on. Those are things that we inherited.
Sure.
So what we did was that, look, The first thing is that when you go to the TTRs by law, they provide you go and study. Probably you
You're talking about the
study
teacher
English.
training
Yeah,
institutes.
C certificate should teach from first grade to sixth grade because C certificate was teaching up
That was
junior
the that
high.
was the that was that's the kind of measure you
Yeah,
put in place as
yes,
an administration,
yes.
as a new government.
Yes, C certificate should teach from first to sixth grade by law, and then we have to effect that. B certificate from seventh grade to ninth grade. Then for senior high, you right now we're not giving A certificate, so the BSc masters can teach, senior high.
Okay.
So we put them in that category. And then we our concern also was early childhood education. The early childhood kids. Sometimes you think you have C certificate, then you can teach the kids. No, that's a different area. So we introduce the C certificate program for early childhood education. Even up to present, the university now are providing, the universities are providing BA or BSc in early childhood education. So because it's a delicate place, it's very delicate.
That deals with that deals with
abstract
complete
teaching.
counseling and other things, a behavioral change and other things.
Yeah. So then the teachers, we put them in the category.
Okay.
Then we start to work on our education officer. We have a district education officer, county education officer.
And what were requirements that you needed to have these people?
Well, you should have BSc in education. BSc, you've gone to school, you have BSc, and you have maybe 5 years, maybe you did sociology, but you have 5 years of teaching in the classroom or what have you. All right. So those are some of the. But what happened is that the district education officer had more schools
to supervise,
so they never had time to go to school. So what we did was that we increased the number of educational districts. It was about, I think, 11 or 12. We increased it to 124
to have enough
district education officers. Then we reduced the number of schools that they should supervise every year, in their districts. So because it's not
how did you go through with that?
Well, we had to. Those are decisions we had to take in the interest of this country and in the interest of the government.
Are they yielding greater results?
It's yielding a lot of results. I'm coming there because I know you're seeing the progress that will be made, the gains that will be made. So we decided to put them in the category and then to reduce for supervision and monitoring purpose. So if I have 25 schools, I know I can reach out to those schools before the year ends. So then the physical environment, schools over 30, 40 years, schools were not even renovated. Schools they had the better facelift as a school. Public schools, no chairs. When the government came, the president, the first thing, he mandated the Ministry of Finance to provide us with funding to produce chairs for our schools. And those chairs were produced. Today, if you go to our public schools, you see different outlook. You see them in fence. You see the physical environment. You see all those schools have been renovated. They have good facelift. You go in the interior where our kids they used to use the wash facility, pit latrine. I was surprised when I went to Tapeta. I just came from Tapeta, and the people there telling me thank you. I said, well, I said our kids using Camo, flush Camo. Because the physical environment, yes, the instructional part, but the physical environment is also important. You think why? I was born in West Point. I grew up in Yucatan.
In the slum.
But my that certain place my mom could not send me. We have school at Peter and other school, but when they saw St. Mary's, they saw the kind of
structure.
My mom said, "Gotta go St. Mary's." Many of our brothers started to go to see them. Our parents were sacrificing,
looking for the decent places.
Yes, they look at the structure alone, whether they can teach there or not. But they look at the structure, they say, "At the place, you guys will go." Then female dropout. You saw, a lot of females were not going to school. When they start 6th grade, they drop out. Some of them for certain reason. you know.
Did you do your fact finding,
Yes, as I said,
minister,
we did a lot of
as to
tours.
why those girls were being dropped out of schools across Liberia?
Well,
And what are some of those reasons?
Certain, the kids when they reach that puberty, teenage age, many times, they fall into a lot of, the men can get pregnant, but the boys can get pregnant, the women can, the girls. So sometimes they can be affected by, some of those decisions. So we decided to say, look, how can we motivate the young people, especially the girls? But you see, today there are more girls. The data we just collected. There are more girls in schools in our schools now in the system than male. There are most of the girls now are doing the schools, the high schools. Most of the students that are doing the high school are all females. What the government did was that we developed a program that we recruited 3,000 girls.
Talking about the ARAS project?
We started with 3,000 girls, where we, from 9th grade, you pass to 10th grade. From 10th grade to 12th grade, we track those 3,000 girls. As they graduate, we add more on, so that we gave them $300. We gave them cell phone to track them. We gave them other basic things, that will enable them to remain in school.
Yeah.
And we are seeing, a lot of progress, in that direction. Then we decided, we say, look, most of our students, when they graduate high school, they don't have skills. And because of that, you see them loitering. Not many of them want to go to college, or none of them can take the test or can afford to go to college. So what we need to do is they have arts, they have sciences, then we try to introduce the technical vocational educational training in the various high schools. Because the multilateral were down, told me how they didn't have the capacity. Bidder was trying, but they didn't reach that mark. So today I can boast. You go in at Tottenham Hard now. You go to Bidder, you go to the multilaterals. You go even Sano. You go to the multilaterals. You see the kind of equipment, state-of-the-art equipment. So coming this school year, our kids will start to learn. As you have interest in carpentry or plumbing or electrician work, you from 10th grade, when you from 10th to 12, 3 years, when you learn carpentry, you no more novice. You no more novice. It was good that the president went Magibi on his tour and he went to be there state-of-the-art machinery, equipment, that can even produce those computer. When you put this you put a design in it, you just program it, the same thing will come out. Those are the things.
You have it at Abidaria?
Yes. So we are
making. Do you have progress. The technicians that can properly use them?
Oh yeah,
because having equipment is just one aspect.
Yes. What we did was that we realized that the technical vocational skills, those as a result of the war, many of the people who are teaching at these, like VTC and what have you, Lamco VTC, MVTC and what have you, they were no more. But the ones we saw, many of them were people who had a technical know-how, but they had a theoretical know-how they couldn't teach.
Yeah.
So we recruited those who had the skills, and we sent them up to 4 years. All the things we're doing, we're working.
Outside of Liberia.
Yes. Egypt, Kenya.
How did it go? Was it from the ministry account or from
ministry account? But ministry partnering with
partner. The ministry has the Ministry of Education has a very fat account.
No, we are part. You see, look, the president. We want to thank the president, for the confidence, the level of confidence he has in us, and the support that he's giving to the ministry, because his flagship, one of his major flagship, is education. In showing that our kids, have the opportunity, opportunity to learn, they have options, whether to go to do liberal art course or to do, science course or technical vocation education training. He's giving us the support, it's showing that we can help the system, we can help build the system, and that's what we've been doing. Now that we have a fat account, and also because of the confidence the president has in us, our partners also were blessed. our partners, because you see, the thing they can say, oh, our World Bank, no, but if every government has an agenda, every government has a priority, and we direct the priorities. So if we say we don't want school, they come to us, we'll go see, we bring school here, we don't want to bring school, but we know the needs. So because we know the needs, that's why you see the things that you're seeing today. We are going to build 3 model schools.
Where are you going to build them?
We are building them now. Now we are going to build, but we are building them now.
Up to completion?
Margibi is not completed yet, it's in process. Margibi, Bond County, and Nimba. You know how Todman House was built, right? The kind of facility and other things. The model school for sciences, we're going to recruit the young and potential kids, that have interest in those sciences.
It's a Margibi. Where precisely which part of Margibi you'll be building that? Because people are here in Margibi, they want to understand.
In Kakata area.
In Kakata area. In Banga town.
Nimba, Ganta. For Ganta, they gave us a child-friendly school. The child-friendly school, Francis Moran School in Ganta. That whole place we are going to.
Why you cross over the Tumutu Vocational Training Institute there in Lower Bone?
That's a high school we're building.
Okay.
We're building 3 high schools. 3 high schools.
But are you also looking
to Todman High?
Are you also looking at the improvement of the Tumutu Vocational Institute?
Oh yes. I think through the Ministry of Youth and
Sports.
That
is in Lower Bone.
Yeah, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we getting there. Okay. Youth Rising Project, Youth Rising Project.
It's a new project under the ministry.
The Ministry of Youth and Sport partnering with Ministry of Education. Because we have formal, the vocational skills, who are, because we say formal kids who are in high school and doing, technical,
practical and all of that.
Then the ones who graduate high school and already graduated high school and doing some extension courses.
Sure.
So those are things that we have worked on, and they are ongoing. But I know you want to talk about our kids. Our kids have been improving. When we joined the West African,
so there were I was about to come.
Yes, because I just want the people to know what we inherited.
Yes,
those challenges, but we found solution. Working along with the National Teacher Association. This 4, 5, 6 years now. Have you seen the Teacher Association going the street? Before, the intern pass that they used to, we build the relationship.
Are you also
build the relationship?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
It's relationship building, because we realize that the system is about our children, and there are a lot of compromises that we need to have. But we want our children to be educated. It's a give and take thing. And because of that, today, we have that good rapport with the National Teacher Association, the National Principal Association, and the National PTAs. But we are making a lot of gains. There are other educational districts. There are districts that only have junior high schools. And we upgraded those schools, because they are far off. The kids will go miles, or some of them, like for instance, I'll give you an example. When Nimba Gray is so far, a little bit far from Tapeta. So the kids, when they graduate from high school, from junior high, Zole, they have to go to Tapeta. They have to move there. Sometimes have to find accommodation.
That is serious. It's a serious economic challenge.
Yes, they can come back on the farm to get food to go. So we've upgraded the junior high school to high school in Gray. So for the surrounding towns and villages that are very close, so that our kids, when they complete junior high, they can transition to high school there instead of going as far as Tapeta or Ganta or Sanikweli. There are a lot of things that we, other gains that we are making in the sector.
Okay, Minister Duopo, let's look at the administration of wax in our education system. How has it been since the introduction of wax?
We've made a lot of progress. Our case, we've made a lot of intervention. What happened?
The first time it wasn't easy.
The first time was not easy.
But
then we realized something.
What did you realize?
We realized that we had to make intervention as a government. Uh, so what we did was, whether you are in private school or in public school, whether it's private school or public school, we capacitated the teachers
By
to
what
ensure that
means?
for them to have extra tutorial classes for our kids to prepare them for the WAS exam. And after they've prepared the kids through about a month of tutorial, it's extra from their school work. Then we bring in different teachers together. Maybe St. Patrick teacher, cathedral teacher, and CWA, MC, all the teachers, they come together in the sciences and we put them in Zooms to teach our kids. So those are the kind of intervention. Then afterward, they will have mock exam, our own government mock exam for our kids. Sometimes it's not about the kids not smart, but online WAS exam, there are instructions. And the instruction alone can fail our kids before they even enter they start to take the test. So that prepare their mind as to how the test and what is expected of the test. So those are some of the intervention we carry out.
Was it kind of embarrassing on the part of the Ministry of Education when the first exams were being conducted, administered to the students, and there were a lot of failures across Liberia?
Look, before then, there were always failure. Our kids were
We're talking about the introduction of a new test module. That's the WATS. The first time for us to get.
This is why, if you are an educator, you understand, the system was already classified, and we inherited the system, and we met the kids. Those are our kids. Don't get me wrong, they're our kids.
Oh, of course.
We met them, and to show where we are, because the system was already, labeled. So to show where we were at the time, we had to do the test to see our strength. And from there on, up to today, if you see the result of our kids, it's mind-blowing. I know people will criticize, but it's unbelievable because they don't expect the kids to perform the way they can perform now. Going forward from 2018 now, 2019, 2020, 2021, up to present, if you see the progression of our kids' performances.
Do you care to tell us about the rate? I'm talking about the number of students from 2018 to up to present. Do you have that statistics? Maybe to just drill us through. If you don't have it, maybe it's just.
I don't. I should have it, but I want to see what I could look in my phone. Because my position makes me the chief government nominee. I represent the government to White Council, International Council. So before, in fact, the results come, always
you already in possession of. You have a tape of it.
Yeah, the gist of the result. The result is. I wanted to show you 2021, 22, and okay. I don't have the. I'm trying to find a table.
Okay, yeah, because
I'm trying to find a table.
It's quite important.
In my phone, I'm trying to find a table.
It's quite important for the public.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I hope to find a table, or I will call the WIC boss to send me the table so that I can show the comparison, the comparative analysis.
No problem. No problem. We will still try to get to that.
Yeah.
So let's we can look at it
I
now.
have the table here, but I looked at my phone. Let me see what I can turn my phone in all directions. Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
So now, why we?
But our kids have been doing well. Our kids have been progressing, and I'm proud of our kids, and I'm proud of our teachers.
Okay.
Because of what we've done, to ensure that, sometimes we say this guy is smart, and he got B certificate, but he's good at mathematics and what have you. But so long he didn't go to school to have the degree in mathematics, we don't want him in the classroom to teach mathematics. You understand? And one of the things we also inherited is that, there are some of our teachers, they decided to go in the sciences. Some of them had interest in engineering. Some of them had interest in going to medical school, especially those who were teaching the sciences. But they didn't go to the teacher training institution. They didn't do education, you know. So they didn't have the pedagogical knowledge. They only have the content knowledge. They know the subject, but how to teach the subject, that was one of the things that we also inherited. Okay, I may go to the University of Liberia and do mathematics, but I didn't go to
you don't go to teacher college.
Yeah, teacher college to do mathematics, but I have the content knowledge. So how do we blend that? How do we work on it? Because if you don't know how to teach, you know, when we're coming on, I don't know, when I was coming on, there are teachers who, when they teach our classroom, especially the math and physics teacher, when 75% of the students fail, then they start boasting. And we the students, our attention will always be on that teacher to boast about him. Yeah, that guy is smart, you know. But according to the skill, so long you went to
okay, it's okay.
So long you went to a teacher training institution, you know that when 50% or more of your students fail, then you fail.
Then you, the instructor, you fail.
Yeah.
So, but are you aware that some of the instructors in your Liberian school system, Mr. Minister, feel proud of themselves whenever they fail their students?
There where we started with this training, you know, a lot of professional development trainings that we carry on. Then those teachers, we started training for them. Some of them we recommended them to, to do some of these programs at the TTIs, so that they can have the basic knowledge, so they have the understanding, of who a teacher is. You're not to teach to think that your kids should fail, then you're a good teacher. The kids, you are teaching them for them to learn. Because if they do not learn, if the output that comes out of them is not the way in which it should be, you have failed yourself. Then this is why one of the things we brought is that we realized is that our kids needed protection, especially the girls. So we hired 200 guardian counselors for the public schools. 200, and it was intentional. We hired female guardian counselors that are independent of the principal of the school, because many times our kids, when they have problems of exploitation or harassment or abuse, probably go to the principal, but the principal feel that level of camaraderie, that they may not colleagues, these people are my colleagues, so he can do more, or much. So we hire the guardian counselor to protect especially our female girls. I didn't say boys cannot be abused; they are part of the pool, but the girls, it's privacy and confidentiality, and the girls, then teacher want to harass or exploit our kids. The kids now have that confidence to relate to the guardian counselor. Then we also went further to open the eyes of our guardian counselor to help our kids, because we found out again that our kids, the reason why, because it's our product that go into the colleges. You can fail in chemistry and biology and you say you want to go to medical school. How you have been, but we have to change that narrative.
People have been failing in chemistry and biology, mathematics,
but they go take college entrance and say, "Oh, let me go to science college." It's not.
Is that not possible?
It's not. You spend 10 years 3 years in school from 10th grade to 12th grade. You have not been doing well in the sciences.
Maybe the college could be the best place for me to do the best in mathematics.
No, it's not possible. It's not possible.
Maybe the teacher that was teaching me in the high school was not doing well.
We made them also career counselors to help our kids. You look at their strength from 10th grade to 12th grade, then you can help direct them. Some of us we were second year at the university before we even made our mind.
Before you take your major.
Yeah, where we want to go. Or sometimes we are carried away by our friends. I'm going.
But where are you going to?
So those are things that we have worked on, and still working on. The guardian counselors, they are doing well. The female.
How are they being compensated?
They are paid well. They are on the government payroll.
Strictly government payroll.
Yeah.
They are civil servants.
Yes, civil servants. They are being paid well. They are being paid well. And we provided them.
Do you think the 200? Is it 200?
Logistics. Yeah, 200.
Do you think they are enough for
public schools?
In Liberia?
For public schools.
In Liberia?
Yes, for public school. Actually, we have 156 public school, but we added additional
So each guardian counselor is to what school?
Public school. Yeah.
So do you have school. Do you have one in this entire Montserrat?
High school, in high school.
Yeah,
all the high
that's
schools.
what I'm saying. So
all the high schools, the public high schools.
Montserrat has two.
All the public high schools.
Montserrat has
public
two.
high schools.
Okay.
All the public high schools. That's in this country. Yeah. Then,
do you get some reports from them, and what are they telling you?
They do submit their report quarterly. My assistant minister. The funny thing about it is the good thing. I'm the only deputy minister in this country that have 5 assistant ministers under me.
Why?
Because of the sector.
So meaning your job is less.
My job?
You're not working too hard because you have 5 assistants.
That would make me to work harder because I have to supervise
all of them.
I have to reach out. Besides that, I have the county education officer directly under me reporting. So it's a tough job, but they too they make it easier because the level of work and the repertoire that we have amongst ourselves, my assistant ministers, we relate to each other well, and any issue they have, they bring it to me. We solve those problems. It's school-related matters now. About students, about parents. Many times we encourage our parents, especially the PTAs. We want our PTA to be strengthened.
Just recently,
are those days that you will go as a parent, you will just register your kid, and you turn your back. Then the school make decision. Many times when the school makes decision in their absence, then who they fall back on? The government.
The Ministry of Education.
So these are some of the things that we want the PTA, the parents, to take ownership of the schools. And we have to build this country together. And build a human being, the human capacity. It's not easy to change, to transform a human being. It's not an easy thing.
It's a process.
It's a process. So we want our parents. I just want to sound this to our parents.
Because I'm coming with Mr. Minister. Quite recently, I hosted some officials from the Parents Teachers Association of Liberia, including the vice president, and they spoke about the similar thing you're talking about. Parents don't want to go for PDA meetings. This is something that keeps making them to look effective on their job as a PTA. And again, they talk about the lack of support from the angle of the government, because they cannot work alone. They need mobility. They need to travel to hard to reach areas. And what are you doing from the angle of the Ministry of Education?
This is why I'm being a little political now. That what we've started.
You want to mix politics with education?
No, we're not mixing politics. But what we started, the gains that we are making. We want this country, the people of this country, to see reason to make sure that we end what we've started. There are a lot of gains, a lot of progress we're making, this government is making. And we want the opportunity for us as a government to be given another chance. So that they can see, because this sector is so large.
Did you say what? I didn't hear you clearly. Please reiterate.
No, I said this is why you talk about. We can't do all in this 5 or 6 years. Corona came 2 years.
So what are you opting for? As a minister,
opting for the Liberian people to give us another opportunity
for
another
whom?
6 years.
For whom?
The president.
You want the president go back for a second term?
For a second
what
term.
has the president done thus far?
I'm just telling you what has happened in the sector. I'm just telling you the gains that we are making in the sector.
So you call it on all educational workers?
Oh my! I'm the head teacher in this country.
So you rally the support of your instructors?
I've already rallied the support.
Do you see them? Are they in support of what you tell them?
They are, especially the leadership. Everything filtered down, from up down.
So they've vowed to support the president for the October elections?
We are, as educators, as academics, we support the president's second term.
Okay, well, this morning my guest is the Deputy Minister for Instruction at the Ministry of Education. He's Honorable Alexander Duopo. He's my guest, my lone guest this morning. I wish you have had the Deputy Minister for Administration, The Minister of Education, Honorable Latin Daton. He's supposed to have been here as well, but unfortunately, he's not here. Hope that he's following the radio. He can make a call. We will put him through just for a minute or so. But Honorable Dwopo is my guest. We're talking on education. That's not education at Mayweek, but we're talking on the Economic Hour program. It's a sponsored program here by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Today,
I just want to end this.
Okay, just and then I can open the telephone lines.
Open the telephone line. This year, all public high school students this year will receive textbooks. We say the kids, they need books, they are doing well in the sciences. So the government has produced and provided and secured 900,000 books.
Are the books in country now?
They are in country right now. They are moving to the various warehouses so that they can be transported to the various counties for the various schools use as of this.
How many copies will be going to each county?
It's already per county. Or each student in those counties,
will be entitled to a book.
Will be entitled to physics book, chemistry book, biology book, English book, and a math book. And this book is digital. We have a barcoding. The private schools will give them access to the book to print the books. If they don't want to print the books will give them series of books, because we have to give them the teacher edition of all these books. We'll provide the teacher editions to them, and then the kids can take that phone, because most of our kids have
a smartphone.
The smartphone. You take your phone, you put the phone to the barcode, and all the chapters in the book can go on the phone. So you don't even have to travel with the physical books. So those are opportunities that we're giving our kids from 10th to 12th grade. Because we know they are doing the exams, and the teachers themselves, we need to prepare our kids.
Are the books intended for sale?
They are not for sale. They are not for sale. We tell our people these books are not for sale. And if not for sale will be in those books. And please, those books should not go on the market. Please.
Before I open the line shortly, how was this Gone Teacher National Teacher Award program?
Oh yes, we always doing new things. We're always doing new things. This government always doing things that can blow people's mind. Always doing the things. Last year we decided we said, look, teachers. Many of our teachers taught for 40 years, 50 years, and their children or their family have not seen any gain. Of my pa just teaching, nothing can come out. Nobody can recognize it. But we realize, look, teachers need to be acknowledged. Teachers need to be recognized. Teachers need to be appreciated. And because of that, last year we started, the process. I know many people became pessimistic, so that labyrinthine, it will now work, or they have their own people already. But this is a transparent process. This process is independent of the ministry. If you have somebody like Sister Lorraine on that committee, who can author anything? So we can boast of the committee members. So last year, a young lady won, Precious Tiwe, very bright young lady, and she's proving herself. She, and we are proud of her. We are very, very proud of her. Early childhood education, that little girl now has produced 3 books for early childhood education. Can you imagine?
Is she an asset to the Ministry of Education?
Asset to the system.
So she's in the system now?
Herself.
She's in the system
so she's
now?
Working, we gave her support.
Okay.
We gave her support as a young Liberian. It showed that she reached where she needs to reach. And this year again, we had a young man. We always stress about STEM education, the sciences. A young man, very bright young man, a physics instructor, who then decided to teach with his qualification to be in the city center, where he came from Tapeta, Nima County, and very eloquent, very smart. And he won that award. He got $2 million Liberian dollar. $2 million Liberian dollar.
Okay,
from the government.
that's good. Okay, let's take a few calls before we go because at 9 is another interview here. 0880514 080514096 or 0776. Okay, let me take this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, first of all, this is Ed Baba calling you from Local County to be Square District.
Go ahead quickly.
And let me appreciate this. You don't get this morning. You can't let any justice education of mess when you listen to the minister this morning. With the librarian, we are not stupid. Even in the foreign country, we know the record librarian produce. So today, by Minister of Education, standing by the chairman of Liberia, they go grant their office, the success, so that minister and the rest of the ministers are working for the achievement of the country, so we get achieved. Say hi to the minister of the money. Thank you so much, Minister.
Morning. Good morning. 077, that's 0778 501496. That's 07. Okay, let me talk to this person. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
How you doing, Barry? And hi to our brother in studio there.
Go ahead, Chief.
This is Edmond Carr. We do have a say for the re-election president. We are calling from tomorrow.
Go ahead.
You know, we appreciate them because these are some of the group of people that were brought on board by the president at the level of Minister of Education. Well, we strongly believe that they are doing excellently well. You know, past leadership referred to the educational sector as the MEX. So when they came on board, they put their team together to be able to clean up the mess that they talk about. The those that were there, they are still condemning the education sector today and see all of the improvements that are being made. You know, to be a politician or to be an opposition, that does not mean that even when you see a white, you should tend it to be black. So we say bravo to them. For the achievement, we are here, we are watching their fight. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
Yeah, my name is Mark Wilson. I'm calling you from Painesville.
Go ahead quickly.
Let me say thank you to your studio guest. I just want to say something regarding the books. I would like to encourage the Ministry of Education to ensure that all schools, particularly public schools, but all schools have physical libraries. You know, the books that you talk about, I just last week, I had to bring a police on a young man in front of GT Bank on 13th Street with Ministry of Education book in his bag, sending them around. So when you take all these books and you place them in a library, instead of giving it to the children, then those books can remain there. Government will not be spending all that money. Then the barcode the digital system, the children can just get the information on their phone. But the books can be in the library. They will even help the children to know how to use the library system. So please, let's introduce the library system in our school system. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can take like 3 more calls, then the minister will wrap up. We go on this presentation. 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Okay, this is Dennis G. We are calling from Peace Island.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Minister, and listen to all your deliberations and all the Google packages that you are releasing. But, Mr. Minister, I have a concern. What's wrong with your code of conduct that, in terms of monitoring your DEOs in the various counties? What do I mean?
You need to speed up. We don't have time, please.
Yeah, what do I mean? It's in your code of conduct speak that no principal or DEO should wear or serve in any political position. Unfortunately, one of your DEOs in Maryland County is the party chairman. How do you make up that? How can you reconcile that? Thank you.
Thank you. Minister just addressed that. Thank you. Minister just addressed that quickly. Just addressed that quickly.
Concerning the first caller about the library, we do have all public schools right now. We have a library. Schools that didn't have a library, we put an addition to those schools. And if you go to these public schools now, you will see a state-of-the-art libraries, in those schools. Yes, it's important that we place books in the libraries, and we are going to put books in the library. But for our students to study. Sometimes impression, motivation. The kids, if they have those books in there, they can know that they have an obligation to open their books to study. So we will have books in the library, and as we said, those books are free. Government providing those books, they are not for sale.
Okay, quickly before we go.
For the district education officer or whomsoever, we are just hearing. It's just being unfolded. So we will reach out to Maryland to see what's going on there.
Okay.
I don't want to speak to that
Yeah,
now.
it's something unforeseen for now.
Yeah, we've not had that information until present.
Finally, Minister, we don't have time.
We just want to say thank you to the president of this country for reposing the level of confidence in us at the Ministry of Education through the supervision of Dr. D. Ansusoni. We've made a lot of gains, and I want to thank my colleagues, because we are nearing elections, for the level of teamwork that we've had at the Ministry of Education, and the kind of gains that we've made together. And I believe that when we are given the opportunity, when the president is given the opportunity for his second term, all that we've because we've not reached 100% yet, but I'm sure 85 to 90% of the sector solution will be met. So I want to thank the Liberian people also, all the stakeholders, that have really worked with us, cooperated, made sure that we've had this gain. I want to thank the Liberian people too, for their support to the Ministry of Education. I know it has not been easy, but they've hung in there. And our kids, our kids are so smart. Our kids, look, I just went to North Carolina, Livingston University. 2 girls that we sent on scholarship. Those 2 girls came off summa cum laude. And I mean, the school, I was so proud when I attended that, convocation, so, and we just had our kids from Hoover-Bonnier University in the sciences, doing engineering, industrial engineering, this engineering through the First Lady Scholarship Program.
Okay,
and those kids do Hoover-Bonnier University. So we just need to give our kids the push, the motivation. And we ask that the Liberian people work with the Ministry of Education to ensure that we can, make our kids better. Okay. And I just want to inform them that school has officially opened. Yesterday school officially opened.
Okay.
So we hope to see our kids in school going forward.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Minister. He's the Deputy Minister for Instruction at the Ministry of Education, Honorable Alexander Duopo. He's been my guest on Economic Hour. Unfortunately, the Deputy Minister for Administration, Honorable Latin Daton, did not come. And we want to say a speedy recovery to the Deputy Minister for Administration, Honorable Latin Daton. We just got info that he's not too okay with himself. Never mind, Minister. Hope that you will be here next